quick recap on where I'm at with the car. So I got some new wheels, Anki NTO3s, 18 by 9.5 plus 27. So got a little bit more poke than what I had before. Look great. It didn't solve vibration I was having on the highway. So next thing I decided to look into and look on some forums and stuff is the axles, the rear CV. I've never checked them or done anything, so I took them out. This one's now been re-greased, but they came out pretty easy. Rented these sockets from Advance so I could get the axle nut off. Came off no problem, so that was nice. And the first axle seemed to be fine. Some of the grease was like a little brown compared to the other side, but nothing really that noticeable. Everything seemed to move fine. There wasn't really any play in the axle. But this one I took apart second, and so we can see this. And you can see on the metal how stained it is. It looks like it's just been heat cycled a bunch and just completely burnt the metal. So I'm thinking, even though when this was greased that it seemed to move all right, that when the car would get warm or at highway speed, this thing would be binding up, and like either these the bearings in here or something was rubbing that was creating a lot of heat and burnt this axle. So I'm still going to try to re-grease it and throw it back in there. I'm just going to swap the axles from left to right, all new grease, see if that does anything, but I'm expecting to have to replace this one with just a aftermarket axle because there's not really anything OEM quality, so I'm just going to have to roll the dice and see if one of those is going to work, but I'm hoping it does. One thing that was a little disappointing was I bought these boots to replace the ones that were on there, and I found out pretty quick they're not even close to the same size. You see the top opening on the aftermarket one and the OEM one, way too small. Doesn't fit. Not a chance it's going to fit over the actual axle itself. So I'm in a pinch, so I'm just using the grease packets out of these, but that's essentially it. I'm going to try to return them on Rock Auto, but if you're a Mark III Supra owner and you're trying to replace your CV boots, don't buy these ones because they don't fit. So I don't even know what other options there are, but fortunately mine are not torn or ripped or anything, and all the joints still had grease in them, so I'm not scared to reuse them and just redo the clamps and it should be fine. So that's where I'm at. I got the passenger side axle already put back together. This one I took a little closer look at because of the staining that I saw, but that's just going to go back together, throw it back in and see how it does. Otherwise, I need to do a little bit of rolling because I had 18 by 8.5s on here before. These are 9.5s with a little bit more aggressive offset, so I'm on bumps just scraping a little bit up here. So I think I just need to roll this edge a little bit. You can kind of see a little bit of marks on the tire, but I haven't driven it much with the wheels yet. So finish the axle, roll the fenders, and need to figure out what's going on with my slow boost. Ever since I put this catch can in and I wrapped the downpipe back there, so I took that off, I eliminated the stock blow-off valve, and ever since then it's just been really slow to build boost. Like compared to, it's a stock turbo, so before I was just hit the gas, I'd be at 10 pounds of boost. So now it's like you hit the gas and you wait 2-3 seconds for it to actually build up to that pressure that is actually opening the wastegate. So I did a vacuum boost leak check a while ago and it didn't seem like anything was too bad, so I'm gonna take the downpipe off again and try to figure that out. Maybe the wastegate is sticking open, so I'll film what I can and see where we end up. Okay, so I got what was the driver's side axle put back together. I'm going to flip them around. And in addition to the heat spots that I saw over here, I just put this joint back together and I can feel a tiny bit of play. So I don't know if this whole axle just kind of destroyed itself over time, but you're not going to be able to, maybe you can hear it on the camera. It's raining pretty hard out, so I don't know if that's coming through, but so I think this axle, there's enough play in this joint that's causing some issues. So I'm gonna chuck it back in, but basically about to order a new one for this side. So at least I think I found a solution to shaking I had on the highway, which is more of just a kind of vibration at like 75 on the highway. It just feels like in your seat. That's why I thought it was bent wheels or wheel balance or tire balance, but hasn't been any of those things. It's not anything engine related to put the car neutral and coast on the highway, and you still feel it. So hopefully this does it. I won't know until I put a new axle in, but see if I put these ones back in just reversed, if that made any difference.